comes to you compliments. Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Classic Lighting, Budget Marine Grenada, and Spicer Imaging Center.
Good evening and welcome to episode 4 of Our Climate Reality. It is our second season, and last week we started discussing how do we respond to climate change. We looked specifically at finance. Of course, season 2 focuses heavily on mitigation and adaptation to climate change. So last week we looked at financing that is available to assist Grenada in responding to climate change. We looked at the Green Climate Fund and the Global Environment Facility, both of which provide finance that can be accessed by government and through them by local community and business actors. This week we continue our focus on finance, and we will be looking at financing that is available for actors at the community and individual level, and the types of interventions that can be financed through these sources. We have with us in studio this evening Mrs. Camille Goddard and Mr. Golden Joseph from Republic Bank Limited, and Mr. Trevor Thompson, former Chief Agricultural Officer. Climate finance is a multifaceted concept. It generally refers to finance for activities aiming to mitigate or adapt to impacts of climate change. However, it is sometimes conflated with the related and overlapping concepts of green finance, sustainable finance, and low-carbon finance. Climate finance aims at reducing emissions and enhancing sinks of greenhouse gases, and aims at reducing vulnerability of and maintaining and increasing the resilience of human and ecological systems to negative climate change impact. This definition of climate change represents the flow of funds to all activities, programs, or projects intended to help address climate change for both mitigation and adaptation in all sectors anywhere in the world. What we'll do now is to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have our guests introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about who they are, what they do, and then This Week in Climate. And this week, by special request, we are bringing back last week's edition. So stay with us. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Building or renovating your home or business? Why not use clean, renewable energy? Install solar panels to power your home and office and see your energy costs go down and your savings go up. Using renewable solar-powered energy protects our environment, reduces our carbon footprint, and slows the devastating impact of climate change. Republic Bank can help to finance construction and renovations that make use of renewable energy. Visit any Republic Bank branch and ask about renewable energy financing options today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
How do you choose your toilet paper? Just because it's soft and nice. That's how I choose my toilet paper. Made right here in the Isle of Spice. Cherished straight off Harbor Bay. Super value every day. The price is right and locally they're made. Support local when you purchase Cherish and other quality brands from Grenada Paper Products.
As of October 2nd, 2023, the Hubbard's Rewards program will have some exciting new features to better serve you. Streamlined loyalty experience. That is, no more waiting for vouchers to be issued on a quarterly basis via traditional mail. Instant redemption. This means loyalty points earned can be redeemed immediately after purchase and applied towards your future cash purchases upon checking out. Check status. You can instantly review your reward points when checking out or on your printed receipt. Sign up today and start saving when you shop at any Hubbard's department, including including the Food Fair and Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited. Please note that existing vouchers are still valid once not expired. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Solar Vision is the champion. We lighten up the whole Caribbean. Solar Vision is the champion. We lighten the whole Caribbean. The ultimate solution to get rid of pollution. We going green to be healthy. Going green for security. Going green for prosperity. Going green with Solar Vision. Going green.
Available at Grenada Trade Center, Monrouge, St. George. For more information, call 444-5291 or 404-9012.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Speysile Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Speysile Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. We operate at Grenville and the Carnage. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679 or 440-1500. or visit any of our locations. Speysile Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
Our environment is our responsibility. Budget Marine contributes by selling environmentally friendly products. For example, we sell lightweight open boats that require a relatively small engine. Best to combine with our Tohatsu 4-stroke engines. They use little fuel and have a low emission. Carib Marine solar panels are specially made to withstand the Caribbean climate. The panels are suitable for use at home and on the boat. The required chargers and converters are also available from Budget Marine. Keeping your car and boat clean extends the lifespan. But residues of the cleaning products disappear in nature. We at Budget Marine sell eco-friendly cleaning products from EcoWorks, not harmful to nature and also clean very well. Plastic junk in our oceans is a major problem. Fortunately, there are companies that clean up and reuse the plastic into usable products. Marlowe, manufacturer of lines and ropes, produces docking lines made out of plastic waste. Another company is Sperry Shoes. Sperry has a collection made from used fabrics and plastic waste. Just a few examples of how we at Budget Marine contribute to help protecting our environment. We care.
Welcome back, everyone. Our Climate Reality, Episode 4, Season 2, and we continue to look at the response to climate change. Of course, this week, doing a part 2 of financing. Very, very important indeed. We have coming up in just a moment This Week in Climate, but before we do that, I would love to introduce you to our guest this evening, and we will start with Mrs. Camille Goddard from Republic Bank. Camille, good evening. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. Good evening. And as you mentioned, my name is Camille Goddard. I'm the officer in charge of marketing and communications at Republic Bank Grenada Limited. And I'm very pleased to be here this evening to discuss the initiatives that the bank has in terms of climate action.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph.
Yes, good evening. Thanks for having me on tonight. My name is Golden Joseph. My position is Manager's Assistant, Retail Credit. I'm attached to the Grenville branch. Basically, what I do is to manage the Retail Credit Department at our Grenville branch. And it's a pleasure to be here this afternoon. I'm going to be sharing some of the financing that the Republic Bank offers for climate funds.
Thank you very much. Trevor?
Good evening to our listening audience, and my name is Trevor Thompson, but this evening I am representing the National Steering Committee of the Jeff Small Grants Program for Grenada, which is it's a grant program funded by the United Nations that provides funding to community-based organizations, and community focus groups, IGOs, NGOs that focus on the area of climate change, the environment, looking at biodiversity, etc. So we've been in Grenada for a very long time, very, I would say, under the radar in terms of how we operate, but we do have a great impact across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
Thank you very much, Trevor. So before we get into our discussion this evening, we will now go to This Week in Climate, my special request. Why climate services?
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for having me on this great show. My name is Cedric Van Meerbeek. I'm a climatologist with the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology. Tonight, I want to introduce you to the world of climate services. Well, a climate service can be defined as the provision of climate information for use in decision-making. And in doing so, what we hope to achieve is to build resilience to hazards related to climate, such as, for instance, drought, such as episodes of heat waves, episodes of flooding, or a very active period in the hurricane season, and such hazards. But on the other hand, we also want to reap the benefits of actually being able to suggest that climate conditions will be beneficial for our activities. So let's take an example. Imagine that you meet Max. Max has moved to your country. And as he moved to your country, he went to live in the Deep Valley community, which we all know is prone to flooding, as the name suggests. But he might not know that in advance. And in the Deep Valley community, when he looks at what climate looks like usually, he finds out that flooding is a recurrent problem. And because that is the case, what he will do is make sure when he builds his home to build it on stilts. This kind of action is called adaptation. We're adapting to our climate, making sure that we're not hampered by hazards in our climate, but that we can also make use of opportunities arising by favorable climate conditions. For instance, go to the beach because we have sunny and warm weather. What kind of climate information do we need for that? Well, we need climate information on climate norms, long-term norms. So that means what does our climate usually look like nowadays, but also on trends. What do we expect to look like in the future? And that helps him to make decisions on how to build this house that is safe for his family to dwell in. But there may still be episodes when the flooding ends up being worse than it usually is. And that means that the stilts on which he built his house might not be tall enough to actually keep the house safe in the event of such flooding. What can Max do in such cases? Well, he can turn to weather forecasts and climate forecasts, where weather forecasts look at the next few days, climate forecasts might look at the next few weeks or months or even a year in advance. And if we expect that there's higher chance for such a deep flood event to occur, then he can prepare for such occasions and make sure that he can respond to the information on time and to ensure that his family is safe and that damage or loss is minimized. So this is climate information for preparedness and response. That is why persons like myself and persons in your Met service are engaged in monitoring and forecasting climate conditions. And we do that really to help agriculturists and farmers to minimize the damage and the loss to their crops, for instance, because of flooding episodes or wilting in the heat, but also to minimize loss of livestock. Besides helping farmers and agriculturists, we also engage in helping water managers to anticipate potential concerns regarding the quantity of water that is available or water levels, let's say, in our reservoirs, but also the quality of the water to make sure it's safe, and thereby better manage water demand from multiple sectors. In addition to that, we also want to help health practitioners to estimate the effect of climate on diseases such as respiratory illness, for instance, COVID, gastrointestinal illness, vector-borne diseases, we all know about dengue nowadays, non-communicable diseases, and also well-being and mental health, because all of them can be impacted by climate events, climate conditions, and extremes. We also are mindful that in the Caribbean, of course, tourism is a major sector that helps our economies. And so we want to help tourism professionals, for instance, hoteliers, to map where and when climate conditions may, on the one hand, disrupt outdoor activities, but on the other hand, may attract more visitors to the Caribbean. And also we want to indicate, for instance, is there going to be more need for cooling through AC use in the upcoming season, because we expect a lot of heat waves. We also want to help the energy sector to forecast the power demand and also better prepare for the amount of energy production that will be needed to suit the needs of society. So I hope this was beneficial for you to know why it is that climate service is such a big thing nowadays in national weather services and in regional bodies like the CIMH. Thank you very much, and keep in mind you can find some information on the latest climate conditions and what we forecast at the regional level on the website that is shown here. But more importantly, turn to your National Met Service to make sure you understand how your climate will evolve in the next few weeks and months. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you very much to the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, Dr. Cedric Van Meerbeek, with This Week in Climate. It is time to get into our discussion this evening, and we will start with Trevor. Trevor, last week we started our discussion on the Small Grants Project. We focused on the overall operations and the ways in which it can be accessed. This week we want to take a different angle. So we want to look at some of the projects that can be undertaken to access these funds. You said that you operate a little under the radar, but you've been very impactful. Let's hear about some of the impacts that you've been creating. Tell us a bit about these projects that you've been involved in.
Okay, so the Jeff Small Grants is, as the word grant means, it's grant funding, and the focus is that how it will benefit the ordinary man in the community. And that is through community-based organizations, NGOs, and community service organizations we work with. So, for example, like the Rotary, we work with them. We work with the principal association. We would work with other NGOs, SPECTO, SEDU, a whole suite of community organizations. Even within, let's say, within a local community, let's say you have the Marian community organization, registered, etc., meets all the fiduciary standards. And the focus areas is environmental and natural resources management, with an emphasis on climate change, mitigation, and adaptation. And of course, looking at climate smart technologies, introducing new technologies. Of course, looking at how we will protect the biodiversity. We work in enhancing green spaces, to enhance livelihoods. And of course, we also work in areas to advocate and support policy and practices that will benefit the environment in general. Of course, we know that climate finance, how it is perceived is that it should not be what I would say revenue generating or for profit. But Jeff Small Grant's principle is that anything we invest in must be sustainable. So when our funding is finished, has come to an end, the project should not come to an end. It should be able to continue through individuals in the community having livelihood activities related to it, that they can continue to earn a living and grow that initiative. Of course, knowledge transfer, capacity building, disaster risk reduction, and building climate resilience is important. But our projects target the tourism sector, whether it's small, medium, or large businesses, because we give grants of two nature. We have the ordinary grants, what we call the small grants, which is $50,000 US, and then the strategic grants, which is $150,000 US. Right, and just to give you an idea as to some of the projects we have done in Grenada, we have, for example, just today, the science fair, the schools in Grenada, both primary, kindergarten, primary, secondary, tertiary, NULO, etc. I just finished the science fair, and we have been a major sponsor of that for innovation, and out of that will come new opportunities for young people to get into business, and I hope the bank will talk about how they will help to support that this evening, right? Because I want to add quickly that small grants principle is that any application must show co-financing, and that is in two forms: cash and in kind. Meaning the members of the group, the community must contribute their labor, their time, etc., to make the project viable, right? And then, of course, they must have a cash, put a percentage in cash. So we have, for example, supported SPECTO in constructing and having an interpretation center for when you go turtle watching, etc., in the Livera protected area. We have funded in Karaku an initiative to look at the possibility to generate blocks from recycled plastic, and which showed great potential, but we don't get involved in taking that to a commercial venture. We show that it's possible, it has great potential, and now it's for the private sector to help bring that to a bigger business venture. Renewables is that we've invested a lot of money in that. So, for example, community centers, educational institutions, we've invested in that, providing renewable, so that they can cut their expenses, but also provide. They can then use that cut in resources for fossil fuel, electricity, to expand their program and utilize those facilities to benefit the youths through training and capacity building in the evenings, etc. So, for example, St. Paul's Community Center, the light in there is renewable. We have funded that project. NULO has benefited substantially from us. We put the whole facility under renewables, and we can see the benefits spilling over in other areas from doing that. So that's with PV systems. The Grenada Cocoa Association, we funded the first solar drying facility in Moncton. And then we saw this has such great potential for the farmers of Grenada. The long-term benefits of reduced costs, all the issues they had with with the cadmium and sorry, not cadmium, but the using of fossil fuel to dry the cocoa, etc. That was removed. So we've moved to the Carlton, and it's put in the Carlton facility now under solar drying process to reduce the costs, but also that has increased I mean, the quantity of cocoa that could be dried now is just exponential. So before, remember, there was a time when cocoa would refuse cocoa from farmers. That is no more, right? So that is one of the areas we have supported that facility. Research into new technologies, rainwater harvesting. We provided some farmers on a trial basis just to see with PV solar pumps. Instead of using diesel or gas, solar-powered pumps now to produce on their farms and cut their operating expenses, but also make it more efficient. Summer schools for kids to educate them on the environment, etc. Climate change. We have invested in that. So from the small children. In Petit Martinique, we have invested in the fishermen, the Petit Martinique Fishermen Association in installing ice making machine using renewable energy. Before they would have to go and buy ice in Grenada. And suffered great losses with they spend so much time fishing, and then when they come, they have no ice to store those fish. So we have invested in that facility up there. We have done replanting of mangroves, installing of FAD systems, etc. And of course, we've worked with TAMCC. We were the first to fund TAMCC, to have a program to train a whole batch of students in how to install renewable energy facilities on homes, etc., and also servicing electric vehicles. So we've been working very quietly but progressively to ensure that we are having an impact. Now, with this knowledge and this capacity building and opportunities there is no opportunities for the private sector to come alongside and say, hey, we are encouraging people to get into renewable energies. Who is going to construct the first charging park, right, in Grenada? That if I leave Grenville and I come to town, I could go and hook up my vehicle somewhere and get it charged. We're still far away from that, whether it's in real value compound or somewhere, but we should at least have started that, because we promoting renewable energy. We have trained people to service the vehicles, etc. Now, so there's great opportunities. We have trained people in apiculture. Bees and all of that. We just had a training about 3 months ago with Teen Challenge, and collaborating with Teen Challenge to increase, because honey has its great potential for the private sector. So investment now has to come alongside. These people have been trained. Money has to, they need money now to invest, increase the number of hives, etc. Vetiver grass, which was something all of us, I grew up with as a little boy. My parents had that in their closet. Have the clothes smelling sweet and nice. That's a big industry in a lot of countries. We have invested in training and capacity building to use the grass for craft, to increase its production in Grenada, but also to train them how to make perfumes and oils, etc. And of course, these small what we call cottage industry, they need money to acquire more equipment, etc. Of course, as I said, policy, because sometimes they bring in the equipment and it's a problem to get it cleared off the port. It's not seen as, but it's benefiting the agriculture, but just the issues with customs and the etc. So these are areas that has to be, and of course, as I said,
I want to come back to you. I want to come back to you because I'm hearing some very, very interesting things there, and what you've done with your little presentation is to hand it nicely to Camille. So I want to bring in Camille here. Camille, it's not usual that you would see a commercial bank getting into sort of developmental projects or financing like that, but Republic Bank, definitely you along that path. Can you tell us a bit about what you've been doing, how you got involved, and what does the bank hope to achieve from that going that direction?
Certainly. So in 2020, Republic Financial Holdings Limited, of which Republic Bank Grenada is a subsidiary, became a leading signatory to the global principles for responsible banking in the English-speaking Caribbean. And for viewers who may not be familiar to what we say the principles for responsible banking are, these are the principles that are encouraged by the United Nations to ensure the development of strategies and practices that would help the industry better align itself with and reflect the UN Sustainable Development Goals, along with the Paris Climate Agreement, and of course the national and regional frameworks when it comes to climate action. And so as an organization, Republic Bank Grenada is very pleased to be part of this, and we have developed a climate finance goal as part of the overall group, where we aim to lend, invest, and arrange financing for a range of climate smart initiatives that will help develop resilient infrastructure across all the territories in which we operate. And what does that mean? Basically, we are really committed to increasing our proportion of loans for electric vehicles, for promoting renewable energy, of which Golden will speak more about in a while, of improving energy efficiency, and even investing technology in the new construction when it comes to climate change. So not only are we looking at providing additional funding for that, but we're leading by example. And I'm very happy to say that. Just recently, our headquarters, Republic House, was outfitted with some PV solar systems that would enable us to be more sustainable as an organization. So we're providing the funding, we are walking the talk, and also we are looking to fund and provide grants for the specific projects that fall under our key areas of SDGs. So Republic Bank Grenada has selected 3 areas or 3 specific SDGs that we are committed to enhancing and supporting within Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And those 3 selected SDGs are quality education, all right, climate action, and decent work and economic growth. And as a group, if I may say, that 10 of the 17 SDGs were selected for focus by Republic Financial Holdings Limited, and each territory would select different areas that may make the most impact for these specific territories. And so in Grenada, we have selected 3, and just recently we completed, when it comes to quality education, financial literacy program at TAMCC, training the students and the faculty in terms of managing their finance. But we're also, we've selected climate action, and this is an area that we're really looking to provide that grant funding for. And so as of now, we have we've opened the invitation for proposals from registered community groups who may be interested in having or conducting a climate smart initiative for funding as such. And so we encourage, if you're thinking about that, reach out to us. You can send your project proposals to rbgdinfo@rfhl.com. All right, and so there'll be a review of this and selection of the respective community project to support, and this is going to be an annual something, and because we want to continue and ensure continuity and the impact of what we've signed, see it materialize in the territory in which we operate. So we're very excited about that. I also want to add, when we're looking at some of these projects, so you may be wondering, well, I wonder if my project may qualify. Some of the areas we're looking at under climate action include environmental awareness and preservation of both land and marine habitat, low carbon and renewable energy alternatives, sustainable agriculture, fisheries, and food security. We had a mention earlier about some sustainability in agriculture, and so we're looking to provide that support as well. And even projects that may be related to water waste management as well. Now, it doesn't mean that this list is exclusive. You may say, well, I have an idea that will have an impact and will help us manage our climate reality, right? And even if it's not listed here, you can develop that proposal and submit to the bank for review.
Okay, wonderful. Camille, I have some questions for you. Some very interesting things came out there. But we need to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I'm going to engage Mr. Joseph, and then I have to come back to both you and Mr. Thompson. So stay with us, folks. We take a short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Building or renovating your home or business? Why not use clean, renewable energy? Install solar panels to power your home and office and see your energy costs go down and your savings go up. Using renewable solar-powered energy protects our environment, reduces our carbon footprint, and slows the devastating impact of climate change. Republic Bank can help to finance construction and renovations that make use of renewable energy. Visit any Republic Bank branch and ask about renewable energy financing options today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Our environment is our responsibility. Budget Marine contributes by selling environmentally friendly products. For example, we sell lightweight open boats that require a relatively small engine. Best to combine with our Tohatsu 4-stroke engines. They use little fuel and have a low emission. Carib Marine solar panels are specially made to withstand the Caribbean climate. The panels are suitable for use at home and on the boat. The required chargers and converters are also available from Budget Marine. Keeping your car and boat clean extends the lifespan. But residues of the cleaning products disappear in nature. We at Budget Marine sell eco-friendly cleaning products from EcoWorks, not harmful to nature and also clean very well. Plastic junk in our oceans is a major problem. Fortunately, there are companies that clean up and reuse the plastic into usable products. Marlowe, manufacturer of lines and ropes, produces docking lines made out of plastic waste. Another company is Sperry Shoes. Sperry has a collection made from used fabrics and plastic waste. Just a few examples of how we at Budget Marine contribute to help protecting our environment. We care.
As of October 2nd, 2023, the Hubbard's Rewards program will have some exciting new features to better serve you. Streamlined loyalty experience. That is, no more waiting for vouchers to be issued on a quarterly basis via traditional mail. Instant redemption. This means loyalty points earned can be redeemed immediately after purchase and applied towards your future cash purchases upon checking out. Check status. You can instantly review your reward points when checking out or on your printed receipt. Sign up today and start saving when you shop at any Hubbard's department, including the Food Fair and Grenadian General Insurance Company Limited. Please note that existing vouchers are still valid once not expired. Hubbard's, quality service, affordable prices.
Solar Vision is the champion. We lighten up the whole Caribbean. Solar Vision is the champion. We lighten the whole Caribbean. The ultimate solution to get rid of pollution. We going green to be healthy. Going green for security. Going green for prosperity. Going green with solar vision. We going green.
Available at Grenada Trade Center, Monrouge, St. George. For more information, call 444-5291 or 404-9012.
Here is a little known fact. There is only one place in Grenada that you can get an MRI scan done. That place is Speyside Imaging Center. Yes, Grenada, that's the truth. Other centers could offer you other scans, but Speyside Imaging provides an authentic MRI scan. We operate at Grenville and the Carnage. We provide the widest range of laboratory tests and services. CT scans, x-rays, mammograms, ultrasounds, and a host of other services. We are fully staffed by a team of family doctors and specialists. Call us today at 444-7679 or 440-1500. or visit any of our locations. Speyside Imaging, from seeing the doctor to getting lab tests, scans, and pharmacy services. We are here to take care of you.
How do you choose your toilet paper? Just because it's soft and nice. That's how I choose my toilet paper. Made right here in the Isle of Spice. Cherished springs off Harbor Bay. Super value every day. The price is right and locally they're made. Support local when you purchase Cherish and other quality brands from Grenada Paper Products.
Welcome back, everyone. It's our Climate Reality, and for those of you just joining us, we're quite happy to have you. We do welcome you. Mr. Joseph, we listen intently to Mrs. Goddard as she explained the bank's rationale. Can you tell us how this is translated in your product offerings, and what are some of the products that you offer to the public as it relates to climate change action?
Okay. Well, as my colleague mentioned, the bank is committed in supporting its climate finance goals by offering financing packages towards preserving the environment, supporting renewable energy, and establishing green initiatives. Now, this sustainable development goal is a top priority to the bank as we work towards a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable future. To this end, the bank has packages for both our retail and commercial customers. I will just briefly outline some of the criteria or some of the offerings for the retail customers. Now, we offer up to 100% financing for retail customers, meaning you're interested in putting some solar panels on your property, and you do not have to make an input into that. For an existing customer, once you're a mortgage customer, you come in, you make the application. The interest rate would be 0.5% more than your existing mortgage rate, and that loan we can give you up to 7 years to repay. Now, I did some research, and a basic system, interconnected system with where you have your panels and you're connected to Grenlec. Average cost is about $15,000. Now, assuming, let's say your mortgage rate is about 5%, now we may give you a loan of 5.5% for 7 years. The repayment on such a loan may be just around $215. So when you do the math, you think about what your energy consumption is like, how much your monthly Grenlec bill, and see if you can save that money. Now, you might find, well, if I'm paying Grenlec about $200, why take that? But here's the plus side. Now, the loan is only for 7 years. After that, we're hoping that your monthly bill should equal to what you were paying the loan. So when you finish paying that loan, basically you only pay Grenlec a very minimal amount, maybe just for the or you call it the environmental levy, right? So that's the plus side there. Now, one might say, well, my debt servicing is high because I have other commitments. Now, the monthly repayment is not considered in your debt servicing calculation, sorry. Instead, what we do, we consider the amount you pay to Grenlec. So, in other words, we don't consider that because it should be around the same amount. So then you don't have to worry about debt servicing. Now, if you are not an existing customer, we can still offer you financing for your solar system. Now, we have in place now, customers can get up to 12 times their monthly salary, right, unsecured. So you can think about it. You do some calculations, you can find out from some of the installers what a system would cost, and then you come to us and we offer you the financing for such a package. Now, the plus side to it as well, during the installation of your system, we can offer you that you pay interest only, right? So you don't have to make the full payment because at that time you will be still paying your Grenlec bill. So we offer you interest payments only, so it wouldn't amount to your bill that you were doing before, right? Also, for the commercial side, we know that you might have customers who are interested in setting up a solar farm to sell back electricity to Grenlec. We do offer financing for that as well. This one though, we offer up to 80% financing, meaning you'd have to make a 20% down payment on whatever the cost of that system is. Now, for these loans, you get a maximum term of 15 years to repay. Okay, 15 years to repay. And again, as with the retail side, we can offer you interest-free payments for up to 12 months while your farm is being set up. Okay, because you know it might take a little while to order your panels or source whatever other equipment you need. So during that setup time, you would already have to spend the money. The loan is on the books, so we offer you interest-free payment because we know at that time you would not be generating any income from the farm. Okay, so our payment plans are flexible. We offer the financing you need. If you want further information, you come in, you speak to one of our loan officers, or you can even call any one of our branches for any further clarification, and we are willing and able to assist.
Right. Quickly, Mr. Joseph, what kind of response have you been getting thus far for that kind of service?
All right. So on the commercial side, we have financed a few farms. On the retail side, the uptake hasn't been as expected, but you know, it takes a while for us to adjust to certain things. So we are encouraging persons, as we know, because climate change is real. The sun is very hot these days, so it doesn't make sense just having the sun burning you while you can actually use that and convert it into energy. Right? So persons have been inquiring, they have been comparing the cost to see if it really makes sense. But in doing my research, I realized it makes sense. Right? So if anybody has second thoughts about doing that, consider it, see how much you are paying every month and see how you can help to lower that bill. So the uptake hasn't been as expected, but we are encouraging persons daily to come in, apply, do your research, see what makes sense for you.
Right, thank you. Camille, I want to come back to you. Earlier you mentioned something that got my attention as it relates to people coming in with projects or submitting a project to the bank and one wondering whether or not my project may qualify. Will the bank or does the bank assist people? So let's say, for example, I come up with a project, but it doesn't actually meet the bank standard. Will the bank be assisting or has the bank assisted individuals in getting their project up to par so that they can access the funding?
So what we have are very specific guidelines of the detail of the project that we're looking to support, and also the type of organization, because you must be a registered community-based organization. And so we have not gone into specific climate action grant funding as yet. We have touched on other aspects of the SDG goals that we have selected, and so we're very excited about having that climate action project. And so based on those guidelines, what we would expect if we have something that may not quite meet the criteria, this is something we can look at saying, well, okay, this is what is needed, this is something for consideration, because if we see something that has good potential, it is definitely worth considering.
Right, wonderful. Trevor, I'm coming back to you. You did make a call, based on what you've been doing, and you said now is the time for the private sector, the banks, to, make financing available. Your response to all that you've heard as it relates to some of the projects that you're doing and what people can do to access that kind of fund, to fall in line with climate adaptation and mitigation measures?
Well, I'm very happy that the news I've heard tonight of the bank. What we have, Jeff Small Grant, have always advocated for is sustainability of our projects that we finance, community-focused projects, because they all focus on enhancing livelihood, targeting the vulnerable, poverty reduction, etc., all in the context of climate change, because these help either to accelerate climate change through some of the practices may result in degradation of the environment, etc., because people figure that's how I can make a living. So when you stage an intervention, it helps to reduce. So for example, we did a project in Woburn where we there was this conch shell from the Lambie, etc., and we constructed a boardwalk in there, and out of that has come a tourism product that the people in the community now can benefit from. They can sell, they can do tour guides, etc. So these are the kind of initiative that we advocate. One of the things that, because Grenada is such a small society, there is always the risk of double people seeking to double bank, meaning submitting the same proposal to more than one organization. So my recommendation is that, of course, the bank will have to have some kind of relationship, collaboration with such entities that are involved in those kinds of fundings, that what is provided to you is not a request to do the same thing that has been done already, but instead is to build on that, right? And so, for example, let's say we have done a project in a community, let's say to enhance a facility to make it available to youths, but they may need a lab, a computer lab, so that the kids could go there and study, do their research, etc. Those are the kind of initiatives. They have no renewable energy. It's not costing the community substantial, or the government substantial amount of money to run that lighting system, etc. They may want to enhance the play area, that they could go and exercise, get themselves involved in healthy sports and activities, etc., and then sitting on the blocks, And so those are the kind of initiative. It may be that they need to construct a wall to support the basketball courts, because it's eroding when heavy rain falls, etc. We don't fund those kinds of projects. We don't fund civil works, etc. So these are the kind of collaboration. There may be a group that have been trained, as I said, to harvest and do craft, etc., with vetiver, but they may need equipment now to get the oils, and then to get that into the perfume market. If you go to Guadeloupe and Martinique, vetiver is a big industry there, massive, and it has potential in Grenada. it's easy growing, it's rapid, fast production. We have a lot of areas that needs to be stabilized using vetiver, and then you can always also harvest and have a byproduct from it. So there are quite a bit of areas that could be built upon. Right? I mentioned we've trained guys to service vehicles, to install the PV systems. If a couple of them maybe form themselves in a group or a company and they need support, because I could see that here openly. A lot of Grenadians, the appetite for renewables maybe not healthy, because there has been instances where people have taken advantage of ignorance and exploited people in the past with those kinds of things. So they ensuring that people who understand the science and will be of course it's an investment, but it will not take advantage of people's ignorance. I think that, and if you do the research, you'll realize that has whet a lot of people's appetite for renewable. Right?
Mr. Joseph, I want to come back to you quickly as it relates to some of the loans, the facilities that you offer. Approximately how long? So someone wanted to get into a project. How long will the process actually take? Just an idea.
Okay. Well, our turnaround time for loans is 48 hours once we receive all the documentation, right? So you get your quote. Well, for private persons, we'd ask you for basic information, job letter, identification, pay stub, proof of address, and of course you get the quotation. Once you come in with all the relevant information, our turnaround time is 48 hours. Similar if it's a commercial enterprise, of course the business plan, your registration documents, and once we have that, we promise you a response within 48 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Camille, anything you would like to add? Believe it or not, we're almost out of time.
So I do want to just share a bit about where the funding for the climate action projects that we are inviting submissions for. This comes through our social investment vehicle, which many persons may know as the Power to Make a Difference program, right? And under the Power to Make a Difference, we have 4 pillars that we focus on: the power to learn, to help, to care, and to succeed. And so these help us to filter when we look at the project ideas and proposals. How does this fit into our goal? How does this fit in with the pillars that we've established under the PMAD program? And so I do believe that PMAD is quite familiar to the Grenadian public, because there have been a number of other initiatives, be it with youth, sports, education, the elderly, and so we are expanding to include the environment and climate action as well.
Okay, wonderful indeed. Folks, we're out of time. We're really out of time. It's a pity. But of course, the conversation has to continue, and our climate reality will continue. But before we go, and I'll come back to you, Camille, what one thing would you like our audience to take with them tonight from our discussion here, or your presentation?
So, this is our planet. It's our home. We all have a stake in ensuring its protection and preservation, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. And Republic Bank is very pleased to be leading that charge through our policies, our processes, our products, and our projects. And so if you or your community group have an idea that specifically focuses on a project that would aim at reducing the impact of climate change and helping to develop resilient climate adaptive infrastructure, please reach out to us, submit your proposal to rbgdinfo@ rfhl.com. You can get additional information from our website, republicgrenada.com.
Thank you, Camille. Mr. Joseph, what would you like our public to take away from your presentation this evening?
What I'd like to say is that financing for your solar project is not hard to get. Just give us a call, 444-2265. Speak to any one of our loan officers, and we can guide you in the direction which you need to go.
Thank you. Mr. Thompson?
Well, one of our colleagues who was on the steering committee that passed recently, Paul Phillip, he always reminded us when we meet as a committee to evaluate and decide on projects that accountability is extremely important. Not because it's grant funds, we will just make any crazy rash decision. Because it is the taxpayers' money that we have to manage and ensure that it's invested in what it is assigned to. So grant money is not free money, although people see that way. It has to be invested for the benefit of the whole community. And that is the principle that we function on.
Thank you very much indeed. It was a pleasure hosting you tonight. Thank you very much for, taking the time to be here. Trevor, I know you had a hectic day, but you made it. Thank you so very much. Camille, Mr. Joseph, thank you so very much. Also, I want to say a very special thanks to our partners for making this program possible. Republic Bank, we're the one for you. Classic Lighting, Spice-Style Imaging Center, Hubbard's, Budget Marine, and of course, Grenada Paper Products. Special thanks to my co-producer, Mr. Leon Charles, Dr. Spencer Thomas, Ms. Martina Duncan, and of course, the folks at the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology. Thank you very much for staying with us. Join us next Wednesday for another episode of Our Climate Reality. Good night.
Our Climate Reality is made possible by Republic Bank. We're the one for you. Classic Lighting, Budget Marine Grenada, and Spicer Imaging Center.